A social experiment versus keeping it real. Let's talk about that when I come back. I'm Rob Bell, and this is the Daily Rant. As you noticed over the last several days, my approach to the Daily Rant has been radically different from my approach from the previous week. What I attempted to do was a social experiment in trying to deliver some information to the masses that I feel is relevant, but in the way that I've delivered it in the past was not getting the views that I thought it should get. And so I decided to be a little bit more radical in quote unquote keep it real. So I kind of changed my behavior. I changed my tire a little bit, and I tried to come at the masses in a way that I thought that they could relate to by keeping it real. Uh, Over the last week, what I found out is that in some cases my views increased, in other cases it didn't. So I'm not sure whether it was the subject matter or the way in which I delivered the information I was trying to deliver. Much to the dismay of my partner, my principal partner, the way in which I delivered the daily rant over the last week was not favorable as far as she was concerned. Her main concern was the way in which we kind of display ourselves or portray ourselves, I should say, as a company and as a black company that is solely owned and ran by African American partners. We look to always kind of display ourselves in a positive light, especially in the fact that we on a continuum try to deliver a message to the masses that is positive and uplifting, and to try to eradicate as many of the social ills as we possibly can. So the way in which I was delivering my messages last week kind of radically goes against what this company stands for. So it was kind of a back and forth kind of thing in my head as the president of the company in terms of how we want to deliver and how we want to display. Ironically, it was kind of difficult for me to kind of come at the masses in the way that I did, and not that I was being phony. Really, I was just showing another side of who I am and who we are as a company and as African Americans. And in one of my rants, I said that there's this thing about us where we live inside this vacuum and we live inside this bubble, and we have created our own kind of micro society in which we kind of live. And in doing so, we talk, we act, we do things a little different than what the society does. And so that's just who we are as a people. But I think what disturbed me the most was the fact that I had to come outside of myself and kind of, for lack of a better word, stoop down to the level of some people in order to get messages delivered in ways that people can understand. So I'm not sure if that was accomplished or not. But what I am sure of is that as an individual, I don't feel like, and I won't stoop down to other people's level to deliver the messages that I need to deliver. I'm sorry. And I will continue to deliver information and messages on as high a level as I can based on who I am as an individual and based on who we are as a company. And so you will continue to get the Daily Rant from 906 Multimedia, but it will not be in a way that we delivered it over the past week. It will be in a way that we've continued to deliver our message as a company and me as an individual in terms of how I give it to you. I am who I am. We are who we are. You just have to accept it for what it is. And just because we are not, quote unquote, keeping it real and being hood with it, doesn't necessarily mean that we are not real as a company, and we are not down as a company, and we are certainly not being Afrocentric as a company. In more cases than not, we have the bar and the level of the bar raised very high, and at some point we expect folks to get up to the bar, because in no way will we stoop down to the level of being under the bar in a way to just try to appease the masses. And so, whether the social experiment worked or not, I guess that's still on the table. That's for me to kind of go back and analyze. And I don't know if I want to analyze it based on views, or should I analyze it based on information that I've received from other people, or should I analyze it based on my own personal analyzation in terms of whether I think it worked or not. Who knows? But again, by no stretch will we continue to, as I said earlier, stoop down to the level of being crazy with it in terms of how we deliver just to appease the masses. So, coming up and starting next week, the Daily Rant Show will change its name from the Daily Rant to Rob's Rant starting Monday, February 22nd. And in doing so, Rob will come back at you and continue to provide you with provocative and informative information. We at Channel 906 will continue to provide you with provocative and informative programming. And we hope that, it's something that you can use. We hope that it's something that is interesting. We hope that it's something that you will want to look at. So, I'm Rob Bell, and this is the last day of the Daily Rant.